We may all dream of a white Christmas, but this year Christmas is going to run red with blood. Because nothing says Christmas more like an botched, aborted fetus coming back to murder his family on Christmas. We watched Red Christmas. We watch it so you don't have to. So you know what time it is.
Horror, so bad it's scary. Splitting up is never okay. Plot, who needs it? Don't turn on the lights. Cars don't ever start, but that's alright. Running upstairs instead of out the door. Good acting, what do we need that for? Horrible horror, so bad it's scary. Enjoy the show, but not really.
What's up, Moon Goons? Merry Christmas holiday season is upon us. I don't know where I'm going with that. That was a shitty opening, but I'm going to keep rolling. All right. This is Horrible Horror, the podcast where we watch the worst of the worst in horror movies. Movies so bad they're scary. I'm your host, Mary Marshall Hampton. With me is my co-host, my buddy, Mr. Warm Apple Cider, Aaron Southworth.
Warm.
Can't think of anything else with an A.
I'm hot and sweet, baby.
Yeah, you are.
I'm hot and sweet.
Yes,
so
you
yeah,
are.
Merry Christmas, Happy Hanukkah,
Kwanzaa,
whatever.
throw it on.
Festivus for the rest of us. So yeah, it's the holiday season. We're watching the horror Christmas movies.
We are. This is week 2 of our month-long Christmas horror movie bonanza.
extravaganza.
Before we get into the movie, let's, as always, we need to plug our shameless promotions and plugs. So, but first of all, remember, please, if you feel like giving money to the show to help us with, keep bringing the show to you guys free of charge and to continue to let us expand and do more stuff, you can always donate a few bucks here and there to our Patreon page at www.patreon.com, and I think it's /horriblehorror. You can go there and donate some money, which would really help us out. It would be awesome if you did. We'd love you so much. We might even do some hand stuff for you.
It's the Christmas season, the season of giving.
Yeah.
Give us
your money.
No, really, we do need a little bit of help. We're thinking about expanding to other platforms. They're not free platforms, so anything that can help us would be great.
Well, definitely. So if you keep, you might want to see what we're up to and how to follow us and see what these platforms might be and all that. You can follow us on all the social media sites, which Aaron is going to lay down in your eardrums.
Yeah, you can follow us on Facebook. You can follow us at Twitter. Our Twitter handle is @SoBadIt'sScary. Not scary. It's Twitter @SoBadIt'sScary. You can check us out on Instagram and also check out our website, www.horriblehorrorpodcast.com. You can listen to us there. You can also listen to us on iTunes, and you can listen to us on Podbean. If you do give us a listen, please give us a 5-star rating. That would be very, very nice of you. We'd really appreciate it. Kind of bump us up in the rankings.
That's all I want for Christmas. I just want some 5-star ratings on iTunes. So that'd be great.
If you really want to give to us, give us a 5-star rating on iTunes.
Yeah,
so
and then
it'd be great.
a few bucks. But anyway, Aaron does that so much better than I do. Now, last week we threw out that we're going to have some upcoming Horrible Horror game nights where you can join us on Xbox Live to play some horror-themed video games like Friday the 13th and Dead by Daylight. But we were looking at our schedules and
and guess what? It's the goddamn holidays.
Yeah, it's not the best time to do that. So what we're gonna do, we're still gonna do it, but we're gonna postpone it till probably the New Year, to first weekend or second weekend of January, New Year, when all the holidays are over and things calm down a bit.
And it will also give me a chance to polish up my skills a little bit, so I'm not total fodder.
Yeah. It gives Aaron some practice time. So keep an eye out for that. We'll post how to get involved with that. We'll need gamer tags on that. And then also to keep in keep in line with that, keep in spirit of the game night. Thank you. We will be giving away a hard copy of Friday the 13th, the game for Xbox, unopened, with all the little extra special add-ons that comes with, it's like a poster, a magnet, a sticker,
costumes
and some digital content for the game. We will be giving that away. Once we figure out exactly how we're going to do the giveaway, again, we'll post that. It's probably going to be an Instagram sweepstakes type thing like we did with our movie giveaway back in...
Episode 100.
Thank you. It was our 100th episode, so that last summer. So yeah, keep an eye out for that, and I'm actually really excited about that game giveaway. I think that's pretty awesome. But let's move on to the movie now. Aaron, I do have to ask you a few questions. One, do you like Australia?
Not really.
All right. Two, do you like abortion?
No.
Ooh, 0 for 2. Do you like Christmas?
I love Christmas.
Oh, all right, at least 1 for 3 is not bad because we watched Red Christmas this week, an Australian horror movie that was released on August 25th, 2017. Written and directed by Craig Anderson, and you can find this little gem on Netflix, Amazon, iTunes, and Vudu. Supposedly, I watched it on Amazon. The cast, well,
G'day.
cast. There's nobody in the cast you're gonna know because they're all pretty much Australian actors, except for the star.
Yeah, Paul Hogan's not in it.
Yeah, which I wish he would have been in it. Oh my God, why did they not get Paul Hogan for this movie?
I know.
I mean,
Yahoo
geez.
Serious isn't in it.
No.
So I don't know anybody else from Australia.
They really should. Oh God, if Paul Hogan was in this, that would have been hilarious. That would have been great.
Fucking awesome.
But the main character, Diane, is played by none other than Dee Wallace. A lot of people should know her, but you might not know her by name, but you've seen her before. She's been in she's got 234 credits to her name. Such big movies like E.T., The House of the Devil. She was in the original Cujo. Then she did stuff like Alligator 2, The Mutation, Critters, the original Hills Have Eyes. And again, this keeps popping up. But the mystery movie Death House, she's supposedly in that too.
Maybe someday it'll happen.
Someday. And then, the rest of the cast is all Australian people who I've never heard of, and most of their credits are, again, like all Australian movies or TV shows that
Or waiter at Outback Steakhouse.
Yeah. All right, so let's unwrap Red Christmas. Oh, boy. All right, we open this movie with, like, a really angry mob protesting, like, an abortion clinic, and it's all in slow motion, like, voiceover of pro-life propaganda, and pro-life people are, like, chanting and reciting shit over it.
Yeah,
and,
there's saying, they're quoting scripture.
Yeah.
Talking about, like, the horribleness of terminating life, and it's like all over the top, crazy.
Like, this opening's so weird. Like, when I'm like, am I watching the right movie? I'm like, what the hell?
What's going on here?
Yeah. And we get shot of some, like, religious zealot carrying, like, a large briefcase, like, through the abortion clinic, and we see abortions taking place through open doorways, which is really, I call bullshit on that, because I'm pretty sure they'd be, like, done behind closed doors and privacy, but he's just walking down the hallway, and each door is like a woman getting getting a baby sucked out of her or something like that.
It's like really over the top.
Yeah. Like, what? So the man enters, like, a janitor's closet. He puts the case down, and then we cut to the exterior shot of the building.
Did you see what was on the case when he put it down?
Yeah, it's got, like, all these, like, travel stickers. Like, there's an American flag.
There's, like, two big American flags, and I'm like, USA, USA.
And there's, like, a rosary hanging from it, and, like, an Australian flag, and, like, all this stuff, stickers. And so, like, we have a shot of the exterior of the building, and it just, boom, like, explosion hits from the second floor, like, just all hell
Knocks
breaks
out
loose.
the windows.
Yeah, more slow motion of, like, doctors and patients in the building scrambling as the mystery man just kind of walks down the hallways. And this whole time we get more, there's more, like, the whole pro-life agenda and Bible thumping voiceovers are still playing, and mixed in, there's a few pro-choice comments here and there, but it's mostly all pro-life stuff. Now we see now we go to, like, an abortion in progress.
Yeah. So during the explosion, they're still like, "Oh God, the explosion!" But hey, we gotta finish.
We gotta finish.
We got a job to do.
Yeah. And the woman on the gurney is holding, like, a silver necklace that has an anchor on it, and the camera makes a point to show that. And then the camera shows a yellow biohazard bucket that just somebody just uses their foot and slides it into a corner.
It's a bucket that says a bucket.
It's almost like a mop, like a yellow mop bucket.
It looks like a yellow mop bucket.
It just says biohazard.
And she just, like, kicks it, and it slides off into the corner.
Yeah. And then we see a middle-aged man in glasses. He's looking at the bucket, and the camera zooms in on the bucket as a small, bloody baby hand reaches out of the bucket.
What?
I know. What the shit?
What? So, are you telling me that there's a live baby just tossed in this
I'm
bile.
pretty sure that's not an abortion. That's just called birth.
Exactly. Well, this baby's just garbage.
These are not a good abortion doctors. This is just birth.
I mean, look, this is a touchy subject for everyone, but this is ridiculous.
It really is.
This is just ridiculous.
So the man who I'm guessing or at this point I'm assuming is the bomber, he takes the baby out of the bucket, wraps it up, and takes it with him.
Or the abortion?
Yeah.
What is it? He cuddles it up. No one does it. It's a completely viable life. This is horrible. Ugh.
Roll title card. Now, during the opening credits, we see like the bomber's like a lab / shop, and it's filled with like chemicals and newspaper clippings on abortion clinics. And this is where we can tell that the bomber is actually a priest himself. And in this red lit room, we see a second person who's wearing like a black hooded cloak and has his hands wrapped in gauze, and he sits on his knees in front of like a makeshift altar, and he's reading from the Bible. The priest is shown with a whip and a rosary. So we get the point that the idea that this priest is one of those people who likes to like flog himself, just like the albino from the Da Vinci Code. I forget what it's called. It's like self-flagellation or something like that. But they whip themselves, whip the sins away.
Exactly.
Repentance.
I'm a sinner. I deserve this. That kind of mentality, which is pretty fucked up.
Yeah. And then there's a quick shot of the priest putting a shirt on over a homemade C4 bomb vest that he's wearing. So either this is supposed to now... I got confused. Like, was this supposed to be before the explosion? Or is he going... I'm guessing he's going off to do another...
Round 2.
I think he's doing round 2 here.
Yeah. He's going big this time.
He's going big. Yeah. And that's it. Now we skip 20 years into the future. Right? So I guess present day, 20 years later. And we get to Dee Wallace. Like I said, she plays Diana or whatever. Just calling her Dee throughout the movie. All right. She's in the kitchen preparing food for her family Christmas. And with her is her overly theatrical Down syndrome son, Jerry.
I love Jerry. I love Jerry to death.
Aw.
He's my favorite. Yes, he's got Down syndrome, and he's... like you just said, extremely theatrical. He's like quoting Shakespeare.
He's obsessed with Shakespeare. He even says there's a point in the movie where they're talking about God, and he's like, I don't like my God. I worship the Bard, which is Shakespeare. That he's God. So he is Mr. Shakespeare.
Yeah.
Now we start meeting the rest of the family as they all arrive, and we have Jenny, which is short for Virginia. She's this mega pregnant sister.
Yeah, you want to say mega pregnant?
Yeah, mega.
Yeah, she is just
it's about to pop.
Fucking beach ball of a belly.
Yeah, and her husband Scott. Then we have Hope, who's like the cool kind of punk adopted sister, and then we have like the drinking, smoking, kind of cranky but lovable Uncle Joe,
who. And just give you an idea, both Dee Wallace, who is I forgot her fucking name,
Diane or something like that.
Yeah, she and her brother are American.
Yes,
they're Yanks.
They are Yanks. Joe wears those Chicago White Sox hats throughout the entire movie.
From like 92.
It's so such
old.
A dated old hat.
Such an old hat.
And they never explain why. Yeah, they're Yanks, but they never explain what the hell they're doing in Australia.
Yeah, they just kind of roll with it.
Like they have accent, they speak. They have no accent, but like all the kids have like the British Australian accent.
Australian accents, yeah.
So and lastly, we meet Susie and her preacher husband Peter as they pull up and start unloading the car. The family kills some time while Dee finishes cooking. Ginny and Scott sneak off to have sex in the laundry room. We learn that Hope is highly allergic to peanuts. Which really never comes back. I thought this was gonna. It really doesn't. Not really. And Jerry shows up wearing a Santa suit. Because then he's all theatrical. And he's really into the whole Christmas thing.
Yeah, who isn't? Yeah. Jerry's awesome.
So while Ginny and Scott are banging on a washer or whatever they are, we see Peter watching them through like the crack in the door.
Peter, the priest.
The priest.
And let's remind you, Peter. So it's a very very harsh two opposite ends of the spectrum here. You have the conservative sister with the priest husband. She's buttoned up in gray.
Susie's like the goody two shoes.
Completely buttoned up, like totally like looks almost like a nun.
Almost,
essentially.
yeah, almost.
And then you have on the other end the pregnant. She's wearing like almost like a sundress.
Yeah.
With her big old titties hanging out while they're like drinking beer while she's pregnant.
Yeah.
She's doing shots and smoking weed. So it's pretty complete total polar
complete
opposites.
Yeah. So like I said, he's watching them fuck through the crack in the door, and he gets caught by Joe. Just walks up, and Peter's like, "Oh, I dropped my keys. I gotta go find my keys." And basically Joe goes upstairs to jerk off in a closet.
Or not Joe, the priest.
Oh, did I say Joe?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm sorry. Peter. Yeah, the priest
Peter,
goes
the
upstairs.
priest goes upstairs to go jerk off
in a
because
closet.
That's the Christian thing to do.
Yeah. So Dee gives Susie like this large check in private, saying that it's to help her pay for her fertility treatment. So now we're getting a little backstory of Susie's having trouble getting pregnant with Peter and all this stuff.
Yeah. So,
and then Susie kind of applies. It's more to it than just that. So there's something else going on. But anyway,
it's probably that they don't have sex. That's my guess.
Yeah, that's kind of my guess, that there's something going on, which we're gonna delve into. Yeah, that'll come back. Now we cut to this mystery man in a black cloak and holding a red briefcase. He's walking through the woods, like up to this rundown house out in the middle of nowhere.
And this is what I think of Australia.
Yeah. And outside this older, like middle-aged man. He's sharpening like a large knife on
just like Australians
yeah,
do, right?
Like on a spinning like a wheat stone or grinding stone or whatever. And the man in black approaches, and he's very polite. And he asks the man for directions, like, "Can you tell me, And
I'm lost.
Talks. He's like, "Can you tell me where mother's house is?" He kind of talks like that.
You did a very good job.
And so, I mean, you can tell right away just by listening to that there's something wrong with the guy in the cloak. And the man in black introduces himself as Cletus, says he's looking for his mother's house. But now the homeowner just goes on a fuck-filled rant where he says fuck like 7 times in like about a minute.
Like it's like one sentence he drops F-bombs like 7 of them.
Yeah. He's like, "Who the fuck are you? What the fuck are you doing here? I go fucking kill. What the fuck? Fuck.
While
like,
holding
geez.
a big knife
Yeah.
and drinking beers.
Yeah.
Australia, baby. Australia.
So, basically, for no real reason, this guy's just a dick. He just shoves Cletus down to the ground. He's like, "There's something wrong with you. There is something. You're wrong, boy. You're wrong." And he starts laughing at him. Cletus starts praying, and then the man just starts pissing on Cletus again for no reason.
He's like, "Get off my property. You're wrong. Maybe I'll just take care of it now." And I'm thinking maybe he's going to stab him.
Yeah.
But instead he just pulls out his cock and starts whizzing away while laughing the whole time.
Yep. Now Cletus is trying to hold back his rage because he's like, no, but you can see him balling up his fist. He snaps, and in a blink of the eye, he just reaches out with one hand and rips off the man's dick with one hand.
Dude, he does it with like such speed.
It's like the Flash.
It was
man.
like that kung fu movie, like that trick. It's like, if you take the quarter from my hand.
It's like Van Damme at Bloodsport where he reaches into a well like a fish pond to pull out a fish.
Pulls out a coin.
Yeah.
Or he snatches the
Little
coin
goldfish.
from a fighter's hand. He just, wah!
Yeah.
Give me that dick. Give me that dick.
The man falls to the ground, blackout.
His arms spread out. He goes, ah! He just falls straight back. Like he's doing the Nestea plunge.
Yeah.
If anybody remembers that.
Yeah. So now we see Cletus as he's leaving the man's house. We follow Cletus as he leaves, and the camera pans across to the now dead man, whose head has now been split open by the spinning grindstone that we saw him using to sharpen his knife. And his head's just resting on it. It's like blood coming down. It's like split open. And Cletus just walks away. So we go back to Dee's house, and the family gathers around to open presents. And during the scene, there are, we definitely tell there's a big gap between Ginny and Susie. They don't get along. Ginny does not care for some reason does not care about religion whatsoever. Again, it never becomes clear why or what her issue, but she's like, "I don't like priests, I don't like religion, I don't like anything," but it's never clear as to why, so it's kind of odd.
Yeah, but it's kind of like that, just obvious, like the total yin yang of this family, of these sisters.
Yeah, which at some point is almost, I think, almost too much.
They beat you over the head with
like we get siblings can fight or squabble here and there. I mean, that's what's. But this is like, how would these people even?
Right.
They're so different. Like for them being raised in the same rooms, like it's so like there'd be some more similarities. I think being that they were raised together. It's really weird. Anyway, so this happy family reunion quickly begins to fall apart as Ginny and Susie start arguing. Dee stops to get things back on track. And they start going, it's kind of like turns into Thanksgiving now because they start going around the room to say what each other is grateful for this Christmas.
What are you grateful for
and
this
again,
Christmas?
Ginny gets upset by this and more of the family history gets uncovered, which really doesn't matter because none of it really plays into the story about how Dee's selling the house and she's all pissed off because their dad
and the house is fucking baller.
It's a pretty nice house.
Pretty nice house. The only thing is in the middle of nowhere. So basically they're saying mom and dad were going to go on a trip, but dad died of cancer. But while he was on his deathbed, he was saying, still go on that trip, sell the house, go on the trip, enjoy yourself.
Yeah.
So that's kind of the gist of it.
That's basically it. But
and the kids, Ginny is pissed off about it.
Yeah. For selling the family house. And so again, they bicker, but more bickering is broken up by the sound of the doorbell ringing. Dee answers the door and finds Cletus standing there, and she tells and this is where we learn her name's Diane. She's like, hey, he's like, are you Diane? And she's like, yeah, that's me. And he tries to hand her this letter that's labeled mother, and she's like, oh no, you hold on to that. And
she's like, that's for your mother.
Yeah, that's for your mom. And he starts going to this coughing fit. Dee has Cletus come inside, like, hey, come on in. Can I get you, offers, sit down for a minute. She offers some tea.
He wants to drink the tea with a straw. And you can't see his face.
No.
We talked about how he wears a cloak.
I was about to. Yeah,
he's got bandages all over.
He's dressed like it's like the old Invisible Man thing. Like his face is wrapped in gauze, his hands are wrapped in gauze, and he wears like this black hooded cloak.
Yeah, but you can't even see his fucking eyes.
No,
like you can't even There's like no openings.
Yeah.
Like
he's like just walking around blind.
Like
apparently.
Yeah, the Invisible Man had sunglasses on.
That's true. Yeah.
You just how the hell is this guy?
Yeah,
see?
you're right. He must be like have infrared vision or like X-ray because he's just looking. Apparently, he can see through the gauze, but perfectly. So he's sitting with the rest of the family, and the family's like rightfully kind of creeped out, and not sure what to do about this guy. They offer to take his cloak, but Cletus says he needs it. He says he needs it because it helps keep his skin on, which that's an odd thing to say. Like, apparently this cloak, not even the gauze, says his cloak helps keep his skin on.
Yeah.
Like, that's just fucking weird.
Well, it made me kind of think of like maybe he, with the self-mutilation, maybe he does some cutting or something like that. I was maybe reaching.
Yeah.
But even then, it's like, you would probably be dead a long time ago.
Yeah, if you have to have a baggy cloak to help keep your skin on, you wouldn't be walking around.
Right.
So anyway, Joe just like, fuck it. He just gets up and leaves. Like, I'm not dealing with this. Susie.
Which I kind of like because he tries to talk to him. He's just like, so, Cletus,
fuck it.
Fuck it. I'm like, USA.
Susie's trying to be polite, the polite host. And Cletus says he wants to read his I want to read my letter.
I want to read my letter.
Very good. And
I learned from the best. Yeah. I'm just mimicking you.
Dee, Joe, and Hope, who had left, they all come back because they were in the kitchen getting his tea and dicking around. Cletus continues to try to read his letter, but the family keeps trying to find ways to kind of nicely get him to leave or trying to like drop hints. Because they mentioned like, oh, we're about to open our presents, and Cletus asks, what are presents? Like so he doesn't even know what presents are. And Peter explains, the history behind why people give presents at Christmas based on the story of the three magi or the wise man, which Cletus calls negroids. Negroids or something like negroids.
Negroids.
Yeah, it's a really weird word. And
I'm like, whoa.
Yeah, like what?
And everyone just kind of goes, whoa. Kind of has a shocked look on her face because even like Scott is.
He's something.
He's Aborigine, perhaps?
Maybe. I don't know if he's Aborigine, but he's darker skinned.
He's a dark-skinned fellow.
Yeah, he's very tan.
More than tan.
You know what else I think is really weird? Because, we always saw Cletus at the very end of the opening credits with in the priest area. So if he was raised by a zealot, crazy priest, wouldn't a priest still give presents? Because he'd still be so obsessed with Christmas and the holidays that he give
or at
presents.
Least have the
I mean, you don't.
idea.
Yeah, I mean, you're not going to go 20 years and not know what presents
never said the
are.
word presents.
Yeah,
because he understood the word gifts.
Yeah, he did. Yeah, which is the same thing. So it's like, that's really weird.
Because Scott, or not Scott, but Peter explains this, like Marshall just mentioned, the story of the Magi, and he says they brought him gifts, and we do that in celebration.
Yeah,
we replicate that by giving gifts or presents to people.
I mean, he gets that because
so
I guess
he understands, but he doesn't
because he obviously would have read that. But again, if he reads the Bible, he would know that, and so there's some loops here, like just some disconnects in the story that kind of like, wait a minute, don't really add up.
It's Australian.
Okay. Dee then hands Cletus this wrapped gift, which he says is the most beautiful thing he's ever seen. And people are like, well, you need to open it first because it's just the wrapping paper. And he unwraps it, and it's a jar of peanuts that they have to get rid of anyway because Hope's allergic to them. So they're like, here, take this. Again, Cletus says he wants to read his letter, and out of ideas, the family's just like,
Fine.
Well, all right, guess go ahead, read it. The letter starts with, "Dear Mother," and goes on, basically goes on to say how his father believed in vengeance, but he believes in love. And it mentions that an event occurred that is impossible for his mother to know anything about. And spoilers, but come on, it's blatantly obvious that Dee is Cletus's mom. I mean,
he is the aborted,
he is the
fetus
aborted
surviving son of Dee Wallace.
Yes, he is. He says that his father is dead now. So
probably because he blew himself up.
Exactly. I'm thinking he blew himself up with that C4 vest. So he left to go search for his family, and that 2 decades ago, his father extinguished the lives of 2 child murderers at the North End Medical Clinic.
And this is when Dee Wallace loses her shit.
Yeah, she jumps up from her chair. She's upset and demands to know what he wants. The family begins to ask questions. Dee says that he's talking about an abortion clinic, and she wants him to leave. Clea says he's coming, but I'm coming from a place of love, and I mean no offense or harm. He continues to try to finish his letter, but Dee gets more and more upset till she's screaming and on the verge of tears. Cletus is dragged out of the house by Joe and just tossed off the front steps of the porch.
Yeah, mind you, Joe tosses him out like a moldy bag of tangerines. He manhandles him, tosses him like he was a little bitch.
Yeah.
So
and Joe is an old man.
He's
like
an older guy, but
60s, 70s.
He's still wily.
Right, yeah.
USA.
So Joe threatens to shoot him if he ever comes back.
Says, if you come back, I have a shotgun, and I'm not afraid to use it.
As Dee throws a jar of peanuts at Cletus, hitting him in the head with it.
Dude,
just whack!
She throws the thing like Joe fucking Montana. It just bounced right off his head.
That would have hurt.
I know.
So bad.
I know. Well, again, we got some ass-kicking Yankees in the house. We got Joe thrown off the porch and Dee fucking John Elway right in the brain.
So, afterwards, Susie starts questioning Dee about what Cletus said. Want to know if it's true that after her father got sick, did Dee have a miscarriage? This pisses Dee off more, and she slaps Susie in the face and storms off.
Dude, she slaps her like a boss. Man, it crack. It's a great slap.
More time passes, and we see Cletus walking through the woods. He's crying. Now, during this scene, Cletus looks a lot like a ring wraith from the Lord of the Rings scene.
Totally.
Like he's like hunting for the hobbits in the. Like,
well, yeah, totally.
He's hunched over. The big black cloak is like.
I didn't even think about that, but you're totally right.
It's a fucking ring wraith,
You're
man.
totally right, because he's got that cloak hanging over him like a ring wraith.
Yeah.
He's marching through the forest.
You see no face, no skin.
Of down under.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, we're in Australia.
Middle Earth was New Zealand, close enough.
Close enough, yeah. I mean, jeez. I bet Australians are pissed off about that.
Yeah.
Or New Zealanders just like, motherfuckers.
We're not the same, god damn it. We know.
I know.
We're not calling Australia's Kiwis. That's the fucking New Zealand people, I believe.
Yeah.
And so anyway, back at the house, Joe corners Dee in a closet and wants to know if what Cletus says is true. Is it possible that he is her son? Again, Dee denies it, saying that he was just some crazy pro-life prankster trying to cause trouble.
So Joe's trying to get to the bottom of this.
Yes. Yeah. Peter and Scott, they're off talking while Scott chops wood. Okay.
Mind you, while Joe is talking to Dee Wallace, pulls her to the side.
Yes.
He kind of pulls her into a cloak
A
room.
closet, yeah.
And, she says, no, how dare you, blah, blah, blah. That was some nut job. And she goes, so why don't you just leave me alone and fix the goddamn door? So there's a problem with the door in the closet.
Okay.
That comes up later.
That explains a lot, because I missed that line, but okay, that does come up. While Peter and Scott's shopping, Peter's clearly checking out Scott's ass, which makes sense because when he's watching him fuck through the doorway, Scott's ass is hanging out, and he's clearly so Ginny comes up.
He's not looking at the girl with the boobs.
Nope. Ginny comes up, snapping Peter out of his hypnotic ass daze. So obviously now we know what the problem is, that why Susie can't get pregnant, because Peter's gay.
Yeah.
Peter's a little on the side.
Peter's pro penis.
Pro penis. There you go. Pro penis. So a very pregnant Ginny takes Scott's joint and just takes a big old rip from it and blows the smoke in Peter's face. Susie comes up pissed off.
Classy.
Yeah.
Classy.
She comes up all pissed off, takes the joint away, scolding Ginny for smoking while being preggers. And then Susie storms off, and as she passes Joe, she tells him keep his joints to himself. And Joe's like, hey, that's a good idea. And pulls out another joint from his shirt pocket, lights it up, and starts smoking.
Merry fucking Christmas.
Yeah. So more time passes. The family eats Christmas dinner.
Wow, it's like a montage of them eating food and playing grab ass and hugging and opening presents.
And then
everything seems
more arguing ensues.
Yeah, of course.
But then we also get shots of Cletus in the woods, and he's kind of losing, he's crying and kind of shaking. He's getting mad, and they're kind of spliced into that montage. Night falls. Now, Cletus has made his way back to the house and watches them from a distance. Dee, Scott, and Hope, they're out on the porch.
Watching the sunset.
Yeah, which is pretty much already set. I mean, it's dark out there. It's night. There's no sunset anymore. Hope breaks away from the group to go pick up some the lawn games we saw them playing earlier in the montage and all this stuff when they were passing time. Inside, Ginny and Susie get into another fight over whether or not a certain kind of pie goes into the fridge.
Whether or not a meringue pie goes into the fridge or stays on the counter.
It's at this point, I'm getting a little upset with the fact that these guys fight over everything. We get it. We've got it already. Enough with this.
They beat you over the head with the fact that they're very different people.
Yeah.
And they just are arguing over the... This is the dumbest one.
Yeah, it really is.
This is the dumbest one because everyone knows you just leave it on the shelf.
No. What the hell are you talking about, man? It goes in the fridge.
You leave it on the shelf.
It goes in the fridge.
Well, I like Joe's solution, which was cut it in half
yeah.
and just fucking stop talking about it.
Yeah. And I have no fucking clue. I just wanted to...
Well, we had to do a bit.
Yeah. So anyway, Hope finds a jar of peanuts sitting in the grass, and she kneels down to get a closer look at it and finds a page of the Bible has been attached to it. Jerry comes out to get Dee to break up the fight between the sisters, so Dee and Scott go back inside, leaving Hope outside alone. And then we see an axe raised high into the air.
She's walking and she's looking at that jar of peanuts, and you look down and there's peanuts all in the grass.
Yeah.
And it's like, she almost seems like she's having trouble breathing.
Yeah, it's like
for a minute I'm like, is there going to be death by peanut?
Yeah, I thought so. What's going to happen here?
Is she going to go into anaphylactic shock? Is she going to die by peanuts? Because if she does, that might be the lamest / most awesome kill ever.
I thought something was going to happen, but again, let me ask you this. I know there are people who are deathly allergic to peanuts and bees and all sorts of allergies. But even if you're allergic to peanuts, I don't think just the fact that they're just laying in the grass at your feet is going to send you into some kind of allergic reaction. If they're not touching you, if you're not ingesting them, just, I don't know, walk away from the peanuts and you're fine. Maybe I'm wrong, but I thought it was really lame. This is stupid. I don't know what they were trying to get build up towards with this.
But luckily, we don't have to deal with that thought.
Right, because we see the axe get raised high into the air behind Pope, and it comes down. The axe splits Hope in twain like a fucking banana peel from head to crotch.
It just splits her completely in two.
Yeah. And the two halves of her just drop to the ground in this wet thud. And we see Cletus standing behind her.
It's like a mop bucket. It's like...
Yeah, it really is. Shortly after that, Ginny, Scott, and Jerry, they're outside now looking for Hope. Everyone hears loud screaming from outside and rushes out to find Ginny, who has found what's left of Hope's body, the two pieces of it. And now we get the slow motion shots of everyone screaming and panicking and Dee falling down in tears and blah.
And when this was happening, Jerry was like, "What's going on?" He's trying to run out, and Dee Wallace is saying, "Don't come outside, Jerry. Don't come outside," because that comes up later again too. Because God,
Damn. That all the time. There's so much repetitiveness in this movie. It gets, I mean, the writing is really bad because it's like they just kept rewriting the same line over and over and over and over again. So we see Cletus now. He's opening like this outside fuse / power box, and he turns off the power to the house, which I found this really weird because I've never seen or even heard of a power box or like a fuse box for a house being located outside.
Completely disconnected.
And yeah,
from the
not
home.
even outside, but like we're talking like 50 yards away from the house, just on it's like a random single post. Like,
it's
what?
Australia?
Like, is this a thing in Australia? Like, why would the power box be so far away?
Because...
like, it makes zero sense.
Shrimp on the bobby? I've got nothing. Kangaroos?
Dingoes? I don't know. Like,
Boomerang. I've got
kangaroos, koalas. With the power off, the family's like, oh shit.
Things are just different there.
Yeah. So notice that the power goes off because all the Christmas lights and the windows go dark.
Yeah, the place goes completely black. Yeah. Which makes sense. Okay.
Yeah. The family rushes back inside the house. They lock themselves in and they call the police. Now, one thing about this movie I did like was the fact that they didn't have any stupid excuse or reason why cell phones and phones didn't work. So I was like, okay, at least they did that one right.
Yeah.
Dee orders everyone upstairs into a bedroom where she thinks they can all be safe and can be together.
Not a bad idea.
Yeah, and she does her best to try to calm everybody down. She tells Joe to show her the Bible page that because Joe found the Bible page when they were outside. And the passage reads, "When justice is done, it brings joy to the righteous, but terror to the evildoers." So that's which is weird that's the one line, because it's not like a page, it's just like that one line's highlighted. It's a giant, it's just a regular page with the entire whatever page got ripped up. So it's, that line might be there, but how would you find that one line, this entire page of scripture, which Bible is tiny ass print. Every Bible I see is like you need almost a magnifying glass to read this shit.
Yeah, because there's a lot of bullshit in there.
So the fact that he just pulls out this one line magically is like, what? Come on. So anyway, Joe leaves to go get his shotgun, and he tells Dee that, and Dee tells the other guys, hey, watch out for Joe from the window. Everybody take a window and watch out. And while he makes his way to the shed.
Now, they were all upstairs.
Yes.
They're all together. They're all in one room. There's only one way into that room. Okay. Joe says, I'm going to go get my gun.
Yeah.
All right. Then they all break up and spread throughout the upstairs of the house, looking at windows, overseeing the yard.
Yeah.
And they say, call Joe if you see something.
Yeah. So
okay, I don't like the plan, but all right. It kind of makes a little sense. You can kind of watch his six, I guess, if you will.
Yeah, that's what they're doing.
But all right, so that's the plan.
On his way out,
they're all on the same page, right?
Yeah, they're all on the same page. On his way out, Joe grabs like this wind-up powered flashlight on his way out. He makes his way to the shed. The others exchange cell phone numbers, so everybody has each other's numbers, and which they're a family. They should have had their numbers already. It's like, why are they exchanging? Like, oh, I need this guy's number. Like, you're a family. You should have his number already. Yeah. Where was I? Oh, okay. So as Joe is making his way to the shed, he shines his light on some very unusual and rather dangerous wall decorations. Because for some reason, mounted on the outside of this house are 3 very large bear traps.
I know.
Like, just somebody uses for decor. Like, I'm just hanging some bear traps on the side of our house.
And they're open.
They are open.
They're like armed.
Yeah.
They're like armed and ready to spring. That's like the most and you have a mentally retarded son.
They have a Down syndrome kid, but you have like bear traps like mounted on the wall.
Armed and ready to go. Ooh. Ooh.
So Joe ends up breaking his flashlight as Scott tries to call Joe to warn him they think they saw something outside. Joe's phone starts to ring, but he left it in the kitchen when he picked up the flashlight.
So everyone's on the same page to call Joe, and the fucker leaves his goddamn phone inside.
Yep.
What an asshole.
Yep. And then, from out of fucking nowhere, Scott gets an axe buried like 6 inches deep into his fucking skull.
Splitting like the front of his face.
Yeah,
open.
down to his eyes.
Not a bad effect.
No, not a bad effect.
It looked pretty cool.
So
everyone so the killer's in the house.
Killer's in the house.
He's upstairs, like right next to everyone. He's within 10 feet of everyone there. Splits the guy in the head.
The upstairs room. They don't really do a very good job of kind of showing the layout of the upstairs because they're on one room and then they're in another room and then they're another. So it's like almost like all these bedrooms are like linked motel rooms. Like they're all like connected somehow, but because you never really see them in a hallway or anything. It's like. It's really odd, like how these rooms, how this layout's supposed to be. But Joe makes it to the shed, grabs his shotgun and some shells, and he rushes off to turn the power back on.
He hears the screaming.
Yes, but on his way in, he flips the power back on.
He flips the power back on.
Yes,
but it only turns on the creepy lighting.
Yeah, the creepy lighting.
What the fuck?
Yeah, before the power, all the lights were on.
All the lights are on.
But now all that's left, like in the entire first floor of the house is like in like green lights, and the entire upstairs looks like a fucking.
Each room is like lit with different.
Yeah,
like,
and like
lights.
the main bedroom looks like it's something from a Amsterdam's red light district.
Yeah, there's red in one year, there's pink in
the
another,
other.
there's blue in another. And it's just so you can barely see. Yeah. And it's all creepy lights.
That's a great point.
Or Christmas lights. None of the fucking regular lights work.
That's like one of I can't believe I didn't like.
It's so
think about that before
ridiculous.
now.
It doesn't make any sense.
No, it doesn't.
Only the creepy lights come on. Fuck.
He just flipped the switch marked creepy lights.
Well, I gotta set the mood.
So at this time, Ginny sees Scott's dead body. Pandemonium breaks out. Everyone's screaming and rushing
of
around.
Course, she wants to see what's happening, and Dee's going, "Don't come out here, Ginny.
Yeah.
Don't come out here."
Yeah, stay in there. She's like, "Fuck, I'm coming out." She's so pandemonium has ensued. Dee tells Susie to take Ginny outside so she doesn't have to see the body, even though. I guess obviously the killer is in the house.
This is where the shit show really begins.
Yeah, this is really where things get like.
These fuckers have ADD so bad. They can't stick to any fucking plan.
Yeah, they have no short-term memory whatsoever.
They constantly come up with plans. All right, break. And they all just like run off like dodos in different directions. Fuck.
So Peter and Susie drag Ginny downstairs, followed by Dee and Jerry as Joe returns, and he rushes upstairs to look for the killer, but Cletus is gone. They don't find him. The family is gathered together on the outside, on the porch, and as a group, they all go hide in the shed. Like, okay, let's go in the shed. Joe rejoins them. They lock themselves in the shed.
So now they're all in the shed with a gun.
With a gun.
And lights on above them.
Yes.
And there's only one way in, and the police are on their way.
And the door's lockable. They lock the door.
Seems pretty fucking good to me.
Exactly. But nope, more arguing ensues over what to do. And of course, everybody's saying, we're going to stay here. But then Dee's like, no, I'm going back to the house to get the car keys. I'm going to pull the car up here and we're all going to get in. More arguing. Joe's like, nope, I'm not going to let you go. So I'm going to go in your place.
Motherfuckers.
Yeah, and
God damn it.
So
dude, it was such a good plan.
Yeah, just stay put.
Such a good plan.
Just stay put.
One entrance. You got a gun. He's dead to right. Everyone else is like holding like shovels and shit too.
Yeah, there's like giant garden shears or like some kind of dangerous something that could be used as a weapon.
He's got an axe. Yeah. You've got multiple people with other like gardening equipment and a fucking gun.
A double-barreled shotgun.
And there's only one way in.
Yes. But no, Joe's like,
and the cops are on their way.
Yes. So Joe's like, nope, I'm gonna go get the keys. I'll be back. And Jerry, they put Jerry on guard duty like all the time. Like put the retarded kid on guard duty.
Hey man, he may have Down syndrome, but he's like the one guy who's got some of his shit together.
So Dee tells the others that they're gonna go when the car gets here. They're gonna go out single file to the car, which to me just seems like a horrible idea. Because that's how the people in the back of the line get picked off one by one. They should be going out like 2 by 2, like Noah's fucking Ark, or like using the buddy system.
But it's still just, they're trying to make a plan, and as soon as she goes, okay, all 3 of you are going to go out single file and get in the back seat. Okay? No!
Jenny's like, fuck that! I want Scott! She bursts out the fucking door, and the other's like, oh, we have to get, so they run after her.
They're all just like running, like, God damn, they just can't keep their shit together.
They cannot. So, Joe gets the keys. He starts up one of the cars as Jenny runs back into the house screaming for Scott, even though he's fucking dead and everybody's told her he's dead. But the others are chasing after her, trying to get her to come back.
Didn't she also see his dead body also?
I think so. So after they all run to the house, Cletus pops up from the backseat behind Joe and starts strangling him with some kind of like cord or rope or something. Inside, Jenny has fallen on she falls on the first step of the stairs. Like the very first step.
Yeah.
She's like basically laying on the stairs now. And apparently this fall induces labor. So now they have to deal with this as well.
Throw this in the mix now too. Guys are all fucking... Dude, the retarded guy is the one who's got the most sense. And now there's a pregnancy. There's a birth happening.
So they carry Ginny up the stairs to Dee's bedroom as Peter runs outside to flag down Joe in the car. Dee rushes out after him like, no, come back. And that's when, wham! Peter just gets run over by the car.
Which is pretty funny.
Yeah. The car like just kind of rolls to a stop. Dee runs over to the car to find Joe dead in the driver's seat. She does take Joe's shotgun from the car.
And this is what I have a problem with. While Joe is being strangled, he has a fucking gun. Still.
Yeah.
Yes, you're being strangled. I still think there'd be some wherewithal to, reach back, shoot the gun back.
Point it over your shoulder.
Just give it a shot.
Yeah, I mean, you're about to die anyway.
Oh, it's so frustrating. And the killer got out of the car and left the gun in there.
Yeah. Well,
There's just plot holes.
he's old-fashioned that way. He don't like guns.
He's old school.
He wants that medieval divine vengeance of So where was I? Yeah, she takes the shotgun from the car and then she goes back to the house and Peter's apparently still alive and she helps him hobble back into the house.
He's actually fine.
Yeah, apparently if you get run over by a car, it's fine.
It was a small car.
Yeah.
It was like they're hooking a pile like a fucking smart car.
Yeah, exactly. We're gonna put all 7 people into like it's like 4-door like compact car.
Such a small little. It's like a Fiat or something. It's a tiny car.
So back up in the red light.
You know what it wasn't? It wasn't a fucking Outback.
It was not. It was not a Subaru Outback at all.
Outback.
Yeah.
Australia.
Yeah, I get it. I don't know what you want. How do you want me to react?
I was hoping you'd go. Oh.
Oh.
Oh. Now you're just pandering. Shit. All right. Bad joke.
So, yeah.
I'm trying, man. This movie's shitty.
So back up in like the red light Amsterdam room, panic is continuing to go on.
Everyone's just yelling.
Yeah, everybody's just yelling and screaming. Jenny, for some reason now, doesn't want Peter anywhere near her because even though for some reason he has some kind of experience delivering babies.
He's like, I can do this, I got this. And you know what? He's not down with the P.
No, he's down with the D.
Yeah.
But Jenny's like, fuck him. He's not going to touch me. I don't want him anywhere near me. I'm like, is it just because he's a priest? Like,
or
really?
Is it because he's gay?
Like, what? Again, why
I think it's
is
a priest thing. Yeah, it's like she's like,
I think it's a priest thing too. Like, why are you
don't
so?
Let that priest near my vagina.
Yeah, it's like what? It's overkill. It's like really.
Yeah.
I think in this situation where you have people being murdered around you and you're about to go into labor, I think you would take whatever help you can get. And
the guy with experience, yeah, I don't care.
And she's like, nope, fuck him. He ain't touching me. So now again, for some reason, Dee leaves the group. she's all like, we have to stay together. We have to stay together. Oh, but I'm leaving. She leaves.
She's going to go secure the house.
Yes, secure the house.
When they really should just focus on securing
the bedroom.
One door the bad guy can get in.
Barricade themselves in there.
That's all you got to do.
Yeah, they're up on the second floor.
That's all you got to do. You got to barricade yourself into one room. Barricade it well. Spend some time.
Yeah.
Don't. Fuck you. God damn it.
Yeah, this entire movie from here on, Dee
Everyone's just running around like
especially
chickens.
Dee. Dee is constantly running off by herself. After, like I said, after she's always saying we have to stay together, but then she takes off. So Dee then finds Jerry in the bathroom, which Jerry's like hanging out in the shower for some reason, which is really weird.
I thought about that too.
I think he was putting Scott's body in there.
Yes, he was. Yeah. Because she goes, "Thank you."
Yeah. So I picked up that, but when the image we see when we see Jerry in the shower, it's so odd because it's not like we see him like bending over, like putting the body. He's just kind of staying in the corner shower, facing the he's
kind of
like he's
down.
in timeout in the shower or something like
down.
that.
Maybe it was kind of like, this is sad. This is fucked up. You know. Maybe
I don't know. It's just weird angle to shoot him from. So she tells him to go guard the bedroom again. And then the very next shot, we see Dee entering the bedroom. So, what?
Yeah.
Which makes zero sense because she's supposed to be going downstairs to secure the house. Anyway, we see Susie and Peter. They're on their knees on the floor praying.
Rocking back and forth like they're Jews at the Wailing Wall.
Yeah.
You know, they're just like rocking back and forth
Yeah.
while praying.
It's fucking, that's almost kind of creepy.
Yeah,
that's like really creepy.
Now I'd be like, okay, yeah, maybe I was right. Keep that motherfucker away from me.
As Ginny's like sits in the corner trying to like hold back her screams of labor pain and all that, she's freaking out. Dee figuratively like smacks some sense back into Susie and Peter, and then she and Peter leave again or something like that. So the two of them, Dee and Peter, go downstairs. She tells Peter to guard the stairs with a gun while she goes around to lock all the windows. Which again, not bad. You put them on the stairs higher up, and there's only one way up, one way down. But still, it's like, why not just take the guy with the gun with you or something? I don't know.
Or
leave him in the
have
bed.
him just sit at the top of the stairs with a gun, and you see him coming up.
Oh, that's what I say.
Yeah. You don't have to go downstairs, man.
Yeah, Dee doesn't have to go downstairs. Yes.
You can stay upstairs and help your daughter have a baby.
Yeah, exactly.
And kill a bad guy if he comes up.
So,
why are you doing this?
And that's when she finds hanging from some window a silver necklace with an anchor on it, which is the same necklace that we saw the woman holding during the opening abortion scene. She takes the necklace, drops to the floor. Peter comes down, finds her in the kitchen on the kitchen floor. She's kind of crying. Dee shows him the necklace and promise me you're not going to tell the others what I'm about to tell you. He's like, yeah, sure, I promise, whatever. Dee tells her story about how she didn't have a miscarriage at all, but she went to have an abortion because she found out that the baby had Down syndrome. And because her husband was in chemo at the time, they didn't know if he was going to make it, and that she decided to have the abortion because it would have been too hard to raise the retarded baby without him, and she just couldn't do it again after Jerry. So really, what are the odds of having back-to-back Down syndrome kids? That's fucking crazy.
Pretty rare.
Yeah, I mean, what were you doing when you were pregnant then? I mean, obviously, in wrote off. I mean, were you smoking and drinking too? Because they have two Down syndrome kids back-to-back is... I've never heard of that happening.
Everyone seemed pretty fucking cool with the pregnant lady already taking hits
of
weed
family
and doing shots. So maybe that's just par for the course.
Maybe it is in this
family. Maybe that's how they do it in Australia. Who knows? Dude, Australia's going to hate me.
Yeah,
I don't hate Australia. I'm just being a douche. Sorry, guys. You guys are great.
So, Dee tells him that she's holding... She said she was holding onto this necklace when the explosion happened, and that she lost the necklace in the chaos that followed the explosion at the clinic. Peter's like, "Hey, Dee, you have to stop him. You have to stop him." Like suddenly she's like the chosen one or something, and like she has some kind of hidden power. Like it's up to you to stop him. Like no, really, call the cops. You could kill him. Like anybody can do this. Like
sit at the top of the stairs with the gun.
Like why are you saying Dee has to? Like it's like her. Like it just
her mission in life.
Yeah, it's like
you brought him into the world. You can take him out.
Upstairs, Ginny is freaking out more and calling out that she wants Scott. Where's Scott? Even though he's fucking dead.
Explained to her over and over. I understand hysteria to a point.
Yeah,
to a point. This is getting again. they do a lot of overkill with this
Yes,
movie.
they do.
Yeah, and it's just like, God damn, bitch. Fucking figure it out. The motherfucker's dead.
She tries to run out of the room, but Jerry stops her. Dee and Peter come back, and again, Dee goes off by herself to search the rest of the upstairs bedrooms.
Sure.
And she looks out a window in the pink room and sees Cletus climbing up the lattice work. So she tells Jerry to lock the window and that she's going outside now to rip down the lattice work. Which, what?
God damn it, he's already up there.
He's already on it. Just lock the window. Why go outside to where you know the killer is? Like, I'm going to go put myself, like, what?
It doesn't make any
nothing,
sense.
There's logic in these people's actions. Yeah, zero sense. And it's like no self-awareness or self-preservation in this movie.
And we watch a lot of fucking horror movies.
Yeah, we do.
We watch a lot of fucking horror movies. So you get that logic gets thrown out the window from time to time to help move the story forward.
Yeah.
Okay, I get it. But fuck. God damn. It's just constant hit after hit after hit after hit after hit. It's just fucking driving me crazy.
Yes. So before she runs out, she comes up with this idea to distract Cletus by hiding all the dead people's cell phones around the house, then having Peter call a different one every 30 seconds, while Peter keeps a watch on the stairs as Dee heads off outside.
What?
Yeah. This is some Scooby-Doo bullshit right here.
I'm going to keep that motherfucker busy.
Yeah.
Is he like, gotta answer the phones?
He's like, OCD, I have to answer the ringing phone.
It's like leprechauns having to shine a shoe.
Yes, the leprechaun has to shine
Does
his
this
shoe.
guy have to answer phones when they ring? I gotta reply to this text. Oh, shit. Oh, I gotta answer this voicemail. Oh, no. What the hell?
I gotta like this Facebook post.
What? This doesn't make any sense.
No, it doesn't.
It doesn't make any sense.
So
I don't understand. Is he supposed to answer the... What is going on?
So she gets outside and starts to pry the last work off the wall. But
She runs around the house sticking all these phones in potted plants. She doesn't put them anywhere else. She puts them all in potted plants. I don't get it. And they showed fucking Peter calling the phones every 30 seconds.
Yeah.
Like, this is like a major plot point.
Yeah.
And it doesn't do anything.
She gets outside. Cletus isn't even on the last work anymore. He's gone. He's just gone.
So all this like intense calling and filming and potting, none of this happens. It doesn't mean anything.
And the cell phones start ringing, which makes Dee jump a bit in fear. I'm like, really?
Bitch, that was your plan.
Yes! Like, why would you be startled at all by this? It was your goddamn idea to have the phones go off in the first place.
Oh.
But she's like, oh.
I know. She jumps and throws one. She's holding the fucking phone, and she throws it like it's on fire, like it shocked her. Ah. God damn it!
Now keep in mind, this movie was released in the year 2017, this year. But the phone Peter's using looks like the phone I had back in 2004.
Yes.
And also the buttons don't even have numbers on. They're just like white blobs.
He's had this fucking phone.
He's the guy who never updated his phone.
And if they did that on purpose, then that could be kind of cool.
Yeah.
It's like he's the fucking weirdo. Peter's the weird religious gay guy who doesn't want to be gay or whatever. So maybe he has had that phone since 2004.
It's just weird because everyone
else has got like Androids or iPhones.
Samsung, stuff like that. Yeah, smartphones.
Yeah.
And he's rocking this old like brick of a
This old fucking Nokia.
Yeah, the Nokia. Thank you. Yeah. I think I had that phone.
I had that too.
So now the camera cuts to a shot of a good-sized boat anchor and chain, again hanging on the outside wall of the house.
Part of the decoration.
Which we see Dee's hand is reached in frame, and she takes it with her. Now, again, what is with this house and Dee's sense of decoration and decor? Like, this house is just lined with dangerous instruments of death, just hanging on the outside of the wall. Of the house. I mean, like, I get the symbolism with the anchor, the necklace, and an actual anchor.
Sure.
Get that. But god damn, who decorates
We have
a
the
house
anchor,
like this?
we have the bear traps. Here's the Iron Maiden.
Yeah, like Iron Man. Like, I'm just expecting like those cavalry busting like wooden spikes lying around the house too. Like she's Walking Dead, like medieval movies.
Just
like,
bayonets lining the garden.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah. It's like, what the fuck? The lawn's probably filled with landmines.
They do look lovely in the spring.
So we see Dee running through the yard, dragging this anchor by the chain behind her. Now, if she's worried about being spotted or caught by Cletus, she's doing a piss poor job of trying not to make a noise, because this chain is like clang, clang, clang as she's running through the yard.
Dragging a fucking anchor, which is the number one thing to stop you from running.
Yeah, it's stop. The whole purpose is it's designed for boats from stop moving.
It's designed things to stop moving.
She's trying to move with it and just like bouncing and dragging along the yard. Like, you could find anything else to use as a weapon. That thing's gonna be so clunky and heavy and just like awkward. So she takes the anchor and she uses it to like rip chunks of the last work off. But then her phone rings, which I guess she forgot to hide her own phone because in this stupid plan of hers. She yanks out of her pocket, she throws it off into the grass somewhere, and she smacks some more of the last work down. Upstairs, Jerry sees the sheriff coming. He runs down the stairs and outside to flag down the sheriff.
Yeah, Jerry sees, he's like, hey, the sheriff's coming.
Yeah.
Jerry gets out and says, sheriff, hey, sheriff. And then the sheriff goes, aw, shit.
Yeah. Like, fuck, not the retard.
I was so wrong. But he just goes, aw, shit. And gets out his gun.
Like he's gonna shoot Jerry. Like, I gotta put this kid down. I can't deal with this guy anymore. I'm putting him down. So, but as soon as the sheriff gets out of his car,
he doesn't take 2 steps.
No, he seriously just stands up out of the car and clank, smack. He gets like one of the bear traps snapped over his head. The teeth of the trap like dig deeply into his neck as like volcanoes of blood erupt out of the puncture marks.
It's ridiculous. It's a ridiculous amount of blood.
It's insane. It's like a fucking Las Vegas fountain outside the Bellagio.
It's
just doing waves and patterns.
It's pretty crazy.
So Jerry charges Cletus. He's like, I'm gonna fucking kill this guy. And so Jerry's like manning up, like he starts running at him.
Like a boss.
But then Dee comes out of nowhere.
Says,
and
don't come over here.
It's like, go back to the house.
Don't come over here. Every time she says, don't come over here, someone's fucking dead. Yeah. Like really bad.
So she sends Jerry back into the house, and she turns and she's face to face with Cletus now. Now Cletus like, do you love me? Do you love me, mother? And he just keeps asking her over and over if she loves him. And she tells him that he has to stop hurting people. Now, on the porch, Peter comes out with the shotgun and uses Jerry's shoulder to brace the barrel of the shotgun as he lines up a shot, which is such a bad idea on so many levels.
Dude, he gets on the gun and I'm like, dude, that's a long shot for a shotgun.
Exactly. That's another thing I was going to say. Yes.
It's not going to do shit.
They're like at least 20 yards away.
Or if not more, yeah.
And here's a double buckshot gun.
He puts the barrel on Jerry's shoulder. I'm like, I'm just going, ah!
Like Jerry's head's going to fucking explode here. And Peter's like, cover your ears. Like, that's going to do anything. A double barrel shotgun, like, inches away from your ear, but you're going to cover your ears? Like, that's
like an inch away from your ear.
Peter fires the gun, and I believe he didn't hit anybody. And Cletus runs off as Dee runs back to the house.
And as Jerry screams in agony. His eardrums are now gone.
He should be bleeding from the ear. Yeah, his eardrums should just erupted. He's deaf now. And the fact that shot, the kickback from that probably would have whacked Jerry in the head too or something. I mean, such a bad idea with a double barrel shotgun.
It was so stupid.
It was. Granted, he's a priest and not used to, but still, that's a dumb idea.
Holy shit.
So again, Dee orders Jerry to stand guard at the top of the stairs and to shoot anyone who moves.
I wish he would have gone, what?
Yeah, why? Yeah, but he's like, okay, Mom, I'm fine.
Yeah.
Dee tells Peter to come with her again, and the two of them go back outside to search the sheriff's car.
Yeah, sure. They're just going to go back outside again. They
keep putting themselves in harm's way constantly. So they stop about 30 feet or so from the car, where Dee tells Peter, "Hey, stay here and keep an eye out." What? Why would you leave him so far away? Keep his ass right next to you so he can watch it back. He can watch it back just fine. I don't know, right next to you.
Right.
When you're in the car, occupied with that, he can stand guard at the car door, much closer. But no, she's like, "Hey, you stay way over here." As I go into the car.
Just like their fucking power switch.
Yeah, exactly.
Doesn't make any sense.
So in the car, Dee tries the sheriff's walkie-talkie, but she gets no response. She checks out the sheriff's shotgun, but I guess it's empty. But because she picks it up and she puts it back, like she doesn't even take it with her.
She picks it up and goes,
ugh, and just leaves it there.
Like,
and then Cletus shows up behind her, calling her mommy. So much for Peter keeping watch, because he just walked right up to her.
yeah, and you see Peter on the porch just like bitch out and run back inside.
Yeah, exactly.
What an asshole.
Yeah, so he apparently just left her alone. He's on the porch now, and he's backing up into the house. Dee gets out of the car, and she's trying to like delay. Clee's like, "Hey, okay, I'm coming out. And she spots the sheriff's like revolver or gun on the ground. She quickly grabs it, points it at Cletus, and Cletus again just like, "Please don't kill me."
Yeah, I mean, she's got him dead to rights.
We're talking like, seriously, like Aaron and I are maybe 3-4 feet away from each other right now.
We can touch each other's hands.
Touching
We're
hands.
high-fiving.
High five.
All
High
right.
five.
So there we are.
Then they might even be closer than that to us. So she's holding the gun up at and she fires off 3 shots, but again, she doesn't hit him, even though like he's like less than. He's
Like,
about 3 feet away.
You have to try to miss.
Yeah, there's no way.
You have to point way off and did it like all over the place. And she's just shooting bang, 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 bang,
Yeah.
bang, bang, bang.
And then she bolts for the house, and she's firing off shots as she's running into the house. And she gets inside along Peter, and we see Cletus now with his axe. He's entering the house from some other entrance point somewhere.
So this is when she runs in the house, Peter like scoops her up in his arms.
Yeah.
And he's saying, "You did," but Peter didn't see what happened.
No, because his bitch ass was backed away. It was like,
Yeah,
back
but
by the
he's
front
saying,
door.
"You did the right thing. You did the right thing."
Yeah.
So I was confused.
I'm guessing he did the right thing in trying to stop Cletus or trying to kill him. I guess.
Was he saying you did the right thing and not shooting? Was she intentionally just trying? Was she just trying to?
No,
scare him
I don't
off?
think that. I think she was.
Or
trying
did
to
you
kill
do the
him.
right thing and you're and maybe he thought he killed, but
I
was
think she
kind of
intentionally-
confused by that part.
I kind of see what you're saying there, and the more, if I actually sit and think about it, I legitimately thought she tried to kill him. She just bad
She's
right,
the
and she
worst.
fucking missed. And he's like, "Hey, you did the right thing. You tried to stop him, or you tried to kill him."
She's the
or
worst.
maybe he thinks Cleese is dead because who knows. So Peter starts to go upstairs, but that's when the axe comes chopping down at him, hitting the stairs right in front of him. This causes Peter to fall backwards and down the stairs. Dee screams. Cletus shoves her into that closet from before, and I locks her in there, but I guess it's because the
door handle from the
jams
inside
or
is
something
broken.
like that.
Yeah, the door is broken
Yeah, so she's trapped in the closet
with the gun.
as Jerry comes charging down the stairs. Cletus drags Peter away. Jerry tries to help, but Cletus just knocks him away and like seemingly unconscious. He knocks him to the ground.
Yeah, this scene when he's dragging Peter around. Peter, okay, he's a priest, but do a sit up and stand up. God damn. He's dragging around by 1 foot, and you're like grasping at the couch, grasping at this. Oh my God, I can't. Just fucking turn over, wiggle, do something.
Kick.
Yes. Something.
Yeah, so, Peter's getting dragged. He's desperately, like Aaron said, grab him for anything to get his hands on. Cletus drops Peter, who instantly begins reciting the Lord's Prayer, which is fine. He's a priest, and he thinks about to die, so he's saying, I get it.
Cletus is stalking over him. Looks like it's curtains for Peter.
But he stops
Peter,
in surprise because Cletus joins him in reciting the prayer, and then they end up finishing it together. And then Peter asks, like, "Cletus, do you pray? Would you like to pray with me now?" And the two of them kneel on the kitchen floor, and they begin to pray. Now, we see Jerry get up at this point and crawl over to the shotgun on the floor.
Jerry's being fucking smooth and kind of stealthy, and, you know.
Now, during this prayer scene, Peter says things along the lines like being grateful for the whole family being together, including the youngest member of the family who was unknown to them since birth. Peter glances to his side, sees a kitchen knife next to him, Jerry gets the gun as Peter continues his prayer. He mentions something about the innocents not knowing about the choices of the mother and what Dee did to the youngest son, who what she did was wrong, and that it was God's plan for Cletus to be born different, and that it was a sin for Dee to try to abort him
because he was retarded.
Yeah. During this whole prayer, we see Jerry kind of like hiding nearby, listening, and he starts to cry as he hears more and more of what Peter is saying about Dee aborting because he's retarded and all this stuff. Now Peter slowly picks up the knife and he turns to Cletus and says, "Cletus, is there anything else you would like to add or say in the prayer?" And Cletus just says, "I'm sorry." And that's when Peter stabs Cletus in the chest with the knife. The two of them struggle, during which, now this shit gets weird. There's something I can't really explain.
This is where the camera work really, from this point on, honestly, gets so
convoluted,
confusing.
Okay.
They use incredibly
Close-up,
tight shots, close-up shots that you just don't understand what's happening.
No. So during the struggle, a switch gets flipped on somewhere, and what I can only describe as like a built-in countertop spinning blender blade gets turned on. I have no idea what this is or why.
What I thought was it's a blender without, the actual container, the actual pitcher. Thank you.
But it's like on the countertop. It's not like the blender, but it's like the blade itself is built into the countertop. And I don't know if this is an Aussie thing, like an Australia thing or something, but why the fuck would this exist? This is just a goddamn mutilation waiting to happen.
That's a lawsuit waiting to happen.
This would not exist. I know it would happen.
Who knows? It could be part of the decor.
Yeah, with the bear traps and the fucking anchors and landmines and
sure,
God knows rabid pit bulls running around in the moat with alligators and who knows what.
And here on the counter we have spinning blades. Careful,
blades of death. So. Why it'd be there, I have no idea. There's no cover to it, no safety precautions anywhere. It's just a spinning 3 blades of death.
It's a fucking blender. Yeah. Exposed blender.
Cletus lowers the back of Peter's head onto the spinning blades. And what happens next, I thought was actually pretty awesome. Peter's head begins to shake from the blades cutting into the back of his skull. His eyes begin to fill up with blood.
Really dark, yeah.
And then they explode and a geyser of blood erupts from his soft eye holes. Jerry runs over, opens the closet door where Dee is trapped. But instead of just letting her out, he points the gun at her.
He's got her dead to rights.
Yeah, and Jerry shouts at her and demands to know if she tried to abort him too. Did you abort me? Blah, blah, blah. And he asks her if he tried to abort Cletus, which throughout the whole movie, he doesn't say Cletus. He calls him Clitus. What? Clitus?
Well,
Cletus.
He is meant to be retarded.
Right, but
Australian.
And Australian. So, but nobody else says Cletus or Clitus in the family. It's all Cletus.
He is meant to be retarded
but
and Australian.
Yeah, he doesn't mispronounce anything else. Anyway. Did you try to abort Cletus because he had Down syndrome? She says yes, but hey, I love you, Jerry. Not you. Jerry hands her the gun, saying, "You want to kill me? You don't love me anymore." And
I had a problem with this because he's been living. He grew up with his mom.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it seems like he's well adjusted.
He's a mama's boy, really.
Yeah,
he's mama dotes on him.
Pretty fucking with it, She's obviously put time and effort into helping him develop as a person. He quotes fucking Shakespeare, which is way more advanced than a lot of people I fucking know. And he has Down syndrome. You'd think he'd be able to kind of just go, "Well, that was some pretty fucked up shit, Mom, but I still love you because you're my fucking mom and you really stuck with me."
You didn't abort me.
Just like that, after, his ears are fucking gone.
Yeah.
And somehow hears this ramblings of a madman, and all of a sudden turns on his mom. I don't buy it.
Yeah. So Jerry turns and leaves, locking Dee back in the closet, meets up with Cletus, who's just standing by the Christmas tree in the living room holding his axe.
They have this,
the two of them have a Down syndrome moment. They just kind of stare at each other and "You cool? I'm cool, bro. And Cletus lowers his axe and sets it on the floor as Jerry takes off the Santa hat, which he's been wearing this entire movie, and gives it to Cletus, who puts it on his head. Dee finally breaks out of the closet. She enters the living room and sees the back of someone's head wearing a Santa hat sitting on like the couch or a chair or something like that.
She assumes it's Jerry.
Yeah, thinking it's Jerry, she's loudly whispering to him, "Hey," she's like, "I'm sorry, I love you, I didn't mean blah blah blah." She's trying to make amends for the actions, trying to explain away what she did a long time ago. She wants him to come with her back upstairs, but this person isn't moving, doesn't move at all. And then she hears footsteps coming from somewhere else in the house, so she leaves to go check it out. And the footsteps gets louder. She thinks it's Cletus. She spins around a hallway corner, fires the shotgun, blam! And she just kills Jerry.
Just
blows him away.
Blows Jerry away.
Jerry's blood covers the hallway and the doors in the hallway. It's just blood everywhere. She drops to his side, crying, holding his dead body.
Freaking out.
Screaming in rage, she grabs the gun again, runs back to the room where she comes face to face with Cletus. She pulls the trigger, but now the gun is empty. The camera cuts over and pans to Cletus, and now for the first time we see, without the facial wraps and bandages, his head and face look like...
And what the fuck,
yeah,
Moongoons?
Like, holy shit, like, yeah, there's downs from, like, Jerry looks pretty... This guy, Cletus looks like a fucking alien or some kind of a monster more than any kind of human person.
More alien. It just looks like giant eyes.
Giant
eyes the size of softballs.
Yeah, like giant bug eyes.
And
like
this
fly,
big fucking
bulbous
head
like,
and mouth that is ridiculously big.
Yeah, giant gnarled teeth.
It's like 12 inches long with teeth like as big as like a fucking cell phone.
Yeah, like I've never seen a Down syndrome person look anything like this.
I've never seen it. No.
Like,
no.
I mean,
he doesn't look
Cletus,
remotely human.
No. Cletus makes Rocky Dennis look like fucking George Clooney or Brad Pitt. He really does. I mean, goddamn. It's almost really indescribable how fucked up and deformed Cletus is in this movie. He pulls the hood back up, covering his face again, and says, "Mother, why do you keep trying to kill your children?" This pisses Dee off. She charges Cletus and they crash into the Christmas tree. She gets up, runs off. Cletus grabs the axe, chases after her. Now outside, being chased by Cletus, Dee grabs the anchor again as she runs by it. She ducks behind a corner and waits for Cletus to come into view. When he does, she swings the anchor, impaling it right into his chest.
Catches him fucking center mass. That fucking
yeah.
anchor. And it's sticking out of him.
Yeah, it is. She begins to pull on the attached chain, which ends up yanking the anchor out of Cletus.
That's pretty fucking curtains, I would think.
I mean, the exit hole, that would be ripped open because those anchors are barred. You know, they're like spade-shaped. I mean, they're ripping out would
it's
just
take
destroy your chest cavity. Yeah.
And he's also been stabbed already, too.
He has been stabbed in the chest, yes. And maybe or maybe not been shot a few times. We don't really know on that one.
Yeah, well, maybe some buckshot. I can let the buckshot go.
Yeah, but there's also the handgun.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Cletus yells out in pain. Again, Dee runs off, dragging the anchor behind her, which, if you're trying to make a quick escape, dragging an anchor behind you is probably the worst thing to do.
Yeah, no shit.
Upstairs in the bedroom, Ginny is giving birth to her baby with Susie's help. The baby is born. It comes out. Hearing the cries of the newborn baby, Dee leaps out from her hiding spot and starts calling out to Cletus, taunting him, yelling at him that, "Hey, I never wanted you, come get me, blah, blah, blah."
Because he's distracted looking at the house.
Yeah, he hears the baby crying. And again, these walls must be paper thin. I mean, they're upstairs. A newborn baby isn't that loud.
And again, they're like 50 yards away.
Yeah.
They're far away. They're pretty fucking far away.
Like, when my baby was born as a newborn, she cried. And she barely cried for the first few days of her life. She barely made it. She was like, and if she did, they were like whimpers at best. They weren't like wah! Crying. Like, there's no way he'd hear her a crying baby that far out. I just don't buy it.
I don't know. I have any kids.
Anyway, so
I'm going to take your word for it.
All right. Cletus looks at Dee for a moment, but he turns to go into the house to get the others. And Dee chases after him, but now somehow the anchor is hooked on something, which it wasn't a minute ago, but now it's hooked on something.
Now it's hooked on something, but it knocks her down.
Yeah, because she's running, holding the chain, but the chain gets taut. It just snaps her back and yanks her to the ground.
Okay, sure.
Or she hits her head and kind of dazes her for a bit.
But she lays there for fucking ever.
Basically, the rest of the movie almost. She's just laying there.
She's going, no, don't come back.
Yeah.
Bitch, get up.
Yeah, get up.
I get it. Sure, it may have knocked you down. It may have pulled you down. But you're just screaming and yelling and writhing back and forth. What the fuck? Why aren't you getting up? Are you tied to the anchor?
Yeah, like,
I don't
what
understand.
Happened? Yeah, I totally agree with you. The exact same thing. But Susie hears Dee yelling for Cletus to kill her. So Susie's like, oh, no, not Mom. She rushes downstairs to help Dee. Cletus grabs like one of these old metal pointed umbrellas, like metal tipped umbrellas, and waits for her like on the side of the front door. Just stands there and wait. Dee's yelling for Susie to stop and go back. Still lying on the ground, keep in mind. She's not getting up.
She's freaking out, completely with it. I understand if she was dazed for a little bit.
Yeah,
but
for a
she's
second.
completely like yelling complete
Yeah, she's
sentences
lucid.
and with it. Yeah, but she's still just like, for some reason, stuck
laying
on the ground.
Yeah. Susie runs out the front door and Cletus just stabs her through the face with the pointed tip of the umbrella.
All the way through her.
Like just all the way through. She stumbles down the porch steps like kind of like that Death Days, like, you know,
a few shambling steps.
Yeah, a few shambling steps. And she falls to the ground. The handle on the umbrella hits the ground first, which causes the umbrella to pop open, sending bloody chunks and viscous shit flying everywhere. Dee continues to lay there on the ground screaming, I hate you, as Cletus approaches her. He stands over her. She tells him, just finish me, just kill me now. But Cletus wraps the chain around her neck and tells her to tell him that she loves him. And each time she doesn't say it, he tightens the chain a little tighter. She refuses to say anything, and she seemingly dies. She just seemingly... She
gets choked out.
Yeah. We go back to Ginny and the baby in the bedroom for a moment, and then we see Cletus grabbing a large Michael Myers-like kitchen knife, and he heads upstairs. Ginny has to hide. Cletus can't seem to find them anywhere, but then the baby starts to cry. He follows the sounds of the crying to another bedroom where he sees a giant stuffed rabbit. And I'm not kidding. This thing is practically human size. This is one of these ginormous humans, like stuffed animals. And he can hear deep panic breathing coming from inside the stuffed bunny.
So, sorry, I was a little distracted there for a second, but she's hiding. She needs to hide.
Yes.
She sees the giant rabbit.
Yeah.
She guts the rabbit because he goes in the room where the rabbit was, and there's stuffing all over the floor.
Yeah, he sees like stuffing all everywhere, and
then he goes in the next room. And there's this giant rabbit
just
standing there.
It's
standing. It's standing.
You're right. It's standing because it falls over. Yeah, you kind of gave yourself away, but just sit on the ground, bitch. Stuffed animals don't stand.
It's standing against the wall.
I forgot. I didn't realize it was standing, but it totally was. Because again, the camera shows it close. I'm thinking, oh, and right first I'm like, oh, she's sitting on the floor. But you're right. What happens is because he walks up to it and just slowly and methodically, so slowly, like, starts stabbing
the knife.
Yeah, starts pushing the knife into the rabbit, and you hear the sound of Ginny crying as the knife just sinks deeper and deeper into her, and then Cletus starts grunting and growling, and he starts like sawing through both the rabbit and Ginny. The bloody stuffing is falling to the floor, and then that's when the stuffed rabbit like falls over,
falls to its knees,
and he falls to his knees, and you see like this large blood puddle or stain on the back of the bunny. So you're right, she had to have been standing up, which makes no. It's like you just killed yourself if you're gonna pull that off. Which I wasn't upset with the idea. I'm like, I kind of get it's not a bad idea if you're desperate, but yeah, don't stand up. Just sit on the floor like.
How about just put the fucking thing on top of you, hide underneath it?
Yeah,
it's so big. And another thing that just drives me nuts is she's standing there, and then she's slowly, ever so slowly being stabbed, and she doesn't do a fucking thing.
She's like, maybe he won't notice I'm here, even though I'm crying and pain.
She doesn't try to punch or slap it away.
Well, granted, she couldn't see a damn thing, but yeah.
It's so aggravating.
Yeah, she crawled that thing like a fucking, like Luke Skywalker being the Tauntaun or something like that, man. But again, like, how would she have that much time to gut that thing and get her and the baby into it? Like, or where's the... Wouldn't happen. Like, that would take some time. So, anyway. Cletus finds the baby, places it on the bed. And then, suddenly, a screaming Dee pops up anchor in hand, the chain still wrapped around her neck, which you would think she would unwrap the chain around her neck
take
first.
The time to unwrap it, maybe?
Yeah, maybe when you're still laying on the ground, you wake up coughing, like, oh, take that chain off your neck, because that's the first thing I would do if I was nearly strangled to death, would take whatever object nearly strangled me off of me. Right. She swings it and again impales him in the chest. So this is twice now. He's been impaled through the chest with a giant anchor, which I have a hard time believing little Dee Wallace would be able to swing this thing around as easy as she does.
She does it like a fucking boss.
She looks him right in the face, says, fuck you, and then she fucking runs and jumps out the goddamn window. Dee's neck snaps because she never took the chain off of her neck. So the weight of Dee's dead, dangling body causes the anchor to rip through Cletus's torso, splitting him in half. Unfortunately, we don't get to see this effect, but you hear it, and you see his legs fall to the floor as his upper half somehow manages to fly across the room and out the now broken window and land with a wet thud below Dee's dangling dead feet. What the shit? Are you kidding me?
Oh my god. Dude, everyone's dead. Also, it's just been so close up. There's nothing but silence after the wet thud of Cletus's body splattering on the outside lawn.
The camera then starts going like a close up of like the anchor necklace, and then it goes from like dead body to dead body to dead body.
But not dead body to dead body. It goes to dead foot to dead foot to dead foot. It's everyone's feet.
Yeah.
It's everyone's feet. It's not like a hand or a close up of the face.
Maybe that's for the feet.
It's the foot and foot and foot and foot. It's fucking weird.
It is weird. And then finally it ending on the baby alone on the bed as police sirens are heard in the distance. Fade to black, roll credits. That, my Moon Goon friends, is Red Christmas. All right. Let's move on now to our favorite kills.
There can be only one. Favorite kill.
I don't know why I said favorite twice, but I meant like favorite section, favorite segment, favorite kill.
I like the favorite kills.
All right.
Why not? Mix it up a little bit.
One thing this movie did have going for it was some pretty cool kills, I think, in my opinion. So, Aaron, what is your favorite kill for this week?
I kind of like Dee's actual death. I love it when she just fucking went, fuck you, just like a fucking nutcase, just throws herself through the window. She could have like held on to it. She could have, but nah, she's just like, my whole family's dead. Screw this. I'm out, bitches.
Even though there's a newborn baby that's now left unattended.
Oh, yeah.
She's a grandma.
What a bitch.
Yeah, she's like, fuck, I'm not raising this kid. That's why she really did it.
Look at these assholes I raised.
Like, I'm in my 60s. I ain't raising this kid by myself.
Jumps out the window with that. And like, it was kind of cool looking because they showed that one.
Yeah.
They showed this body coming down and whoop. You know, the snapping in the neck. It looked pretty cool. And then it's just followed up by a... That's my favorite kill. I guess it's a suicide almost, actually.
That's a good one. I will say, I liked a lot of the kills in the movie. I have a hard time picking a favorite. That's a good one, but it's so fucking crazy. But because it didn't need to happen. She didn't need to die. I liked Peter's death. The visuals of that were really cool. But I also liked Hope. Hope is probably one of my favorite characters, who I wish we would have had more Hope. She was the one sister I liked.
Really?
Yeah.
I like Ginny.
But the splitting of her body.
Oh, Hope. No, she was actually cool. No, you're right. She
Not
was cool.
Susie.
I was thinking Susie. Susie sucked, yeah. I
but-
forgot about Hope. She was just like...
she was there and gone. Like, we didn't get enough of her.
She was kind of cool, yeah.
Yeah,
I mean, you didn't get to know her very well, though.
But that effect, the first kill of her splitting in half, was surprising, because I was like, oh, that's actually pretty good. Maybe we're gonna have some decent movie here.
A good gore fest.
Yeah. Tough decision. You know what? I'm gonna go at the more original one, and I'll take Peter with the weird fucking unattended blender blade on the counter through the head. Because because I've never seen that before. I've seen people get split with axes, but and then the effect of his eyes filled with blood and exploding.
Yeah, that was
blood.
cool. That was cool. Even though it doesn't make any sense.
Doesn't make any
It was
sense.
still cool.
Yeah. So I'll go Peter.
All right.
So moving on to now, we move on to the odds and ends.
Not only did they watch these films, they researched them too. Ugh, what is wrong with these guys?
All right, ratings. IMDb gives it a 4.6 out of 10. Rotten Tomatoes, a 44% on the thermometer,
Wow.
with a 41% audience score. One of the higher movies we've had.
Yeah.
And Amazon gives it a 2.5 out of 5.
Wow, kind of low for Amazon.
Yeah. Plot keywords, there were 18. Really nothing too...
Australia.
Yep, Australian.
Kangaroo.
No, kangaroo was
Boomerang.
Yes.
Really?
No. I was just gonna say yes to every Australian thing you said, but
I was like, holy shit, there wasn't a boomerang in that.
no. Christmas horror, holiday entitled, violence, cult, sociopath, psychopath, family crisis, family relationship, color entitled, 2-word title, Australian, independent film, directorial debut, pun entitled, which I don't get the pun, unless they're saying, because white Christmas and red Christmas, but that's not a pun.
That's not really a
That's
pun.
not a pun.
Yeah.
And then 63-year-old is the other keyword.
Ooh, that's unique.
Yeah.
63-year-old.
It's a very specific
It
age
is.
for a
It
keyword.
is.
Trivia. The sheriff is played by director Craig Anderson's father in the movie. The roller coaster journey making of Red Christmas was documented in a feature-length documentary horror movie, A Low-Budget Nightmare.
They made a full-length documentary about making this movie?
Apparently.
Wow.
The photo of Diane's husband is of co-producer Brian Moss's father. Only one line in the entire movie is improvised in the film, and that's spoken by Jerry.
Good for him.
What
What line is it?
I didn't say.
I don't know. He does have some pretty sweet lines, though. He
And
goes, ho, 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 from time to time for no reason, and I like it.
And the placenta shown at the end of the movie after the birth scene was a real placenta, which is disgusting. Why would you even have that on set?
Motherfuckers.
That's just gross.
Gross.
Just get a wet hefty bag and throw it on there. That's
Just
all
get
you
a
need.
steak and like mush it around a little bit, put a tube on it, and you're done.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh.
So moving on now, the budget. I don't have a budget.
Is it in dollary dues?
I don't have the budget.
Not in dollary dues?
No.
That's what I think they use because their currency is dollary
But
dues.
I have the gross opening weekend. If you'd like to play that.
Yeah.
All right,
sure.
so let's play let's play a variation of the budget game.
Time for Aaron to blow his wad with the budget game.
All right, so instead of the budget game, we have Guess the Gross. And this was opening weekend, October 19th, 2017.
In the United States?
It does, I'm assuming the United States, yeah.
Where's this again in dollary dues?
It's
What's the currency they use down there?
I don't know.
I don't know either. I'm such an asshole.
Kangaroo pelts or koala pelts. I don't know.
That's worse. Okay, all right. Opening gross weekend. When did it come out again?
October 19th of 2017.
All right,
Just a few
so
months
it's
ago.
okay. It's a horror film in October. That's when it's hot. Opening weekend, $4 million.
You majorly blew your load all over this shit, dude. All over this shit. Opening gross weekend. Shit you not, what I found. $2,255.
Oh,
So that means you probably played on one theater at like a festival somewhere, and that was it.
well, that's tricky. That's not fair. Come on, $2,000.
Yeah.
It's got to be one theater. It would
It
have,
has to be like one theater. Well, yeah, it doesn't say, but that's the number that was given. So I'm like, I'm assuming it had to be like one theater at a festival on one night or something like that.
Motherfucker.
But still technically an open weekend gross.
I'm an asshole.
All right. That was a little tricky on my part. A little dirty.
Yeah, that was.
A little dirtiness, but I couldn't help it. All right, moving on to 5-star reviews.
These special movies have a place in these special people's hearts. 5-star reviews.
All right, there was only one 5-star review on Amazon
No shit.
from Raymond Murray. What's not to love? A failed abortion locks his killing sights on the legendary Dee Wallace, and as the face-off gathers blood spurting steam, limbs are cut, heads decapitated, and a family Christmas dinner is totally ruined. A great mix of gore, comedy, great acting, repressed sexuality, sibling rivalries, and religion. The abortion angle really adds to the creepiness of the story. Overall, a wild, blood-soaked horror film for the entire family. Well, maybe not for everyone in the family. 5 stars.
Huh.
Now, that's all I had. So, let's move on to the 1-star review.
Booyah.
And
Booyah.
there were a lot of 1-star reviews. From Khalid, seems right. Junk movie, 1 star. Shane Wallace writes, this movie is absolute garbage. I bought it because I love Christmas horror movies, but I've honestly never regretted watching a movie more than this one. Spare yourself the time, regret, and the money. Do not buy. 1 star. Now, from a returning reviewer, from The Movie Guy.
Oh, that was one-handed hooker with a shotgun.
Oh, would have been nice. No, this is Movie Guy. The film opens showing various abortion confrontations, so when the deformed stranger shows up and calls Dee mother, we know the mystery. Dee Wallace has all off her her family together at Christmas as 2 sisters can't get along. We get background information of all the people, with my favorite dying first. A deformed stranger shows up at the door and reads a letter about an incident in an abortion clinic 20 years ago, which is supposed to be a mystery, but isn't. Then for some reason the stranger goes violent and no one can defend themselves from the slow-moving, deformed individual that has trouble walking or making simple movements outside of yielding an axe.
Right? I kind of felt that way too.
The characters were good. They should have spent a little more time developing them and then killed them in unique ways apropos to their character traits. I thought the subject matter and killer were pathetic. Could be a pro-life message, but not a strong one. 1 star. Yeah, there's 2 more that get really kind of weird.
If you want to read them, you can.
I'm going to, because I took the time to look them up.
Okay.
We have time to kill. So, from Bad Wolf writes, has Dee Wallace lost her mind? This movie is complete extreme pro-life propaganda sponsored by pro-life groups. See the end credits. Dare you watch. Even if you are pro-life, anyone who supports this sick film loses my respect. Essentially, this movie is about an aborted baby that lives to stalk and murder its mother and her family as an adult during Christmas. And in Australia? Not so Christmassy, right? This film exploits handicapped Down syndrome people and makes a mockery of the pro-life movement. And once you see this mutant that somehow survived all these years and was able to be educated and track her down, you'll know why Dee's character had the abortion. Big thumbs down. Everyone I know who saw it was mad after viewing, as was I. 1 star.
So was this movie like funded by pro-life groups?
I don't know. I don't know.
Well, he says it's in the credits.
Yeah, I didn't watch all the way to the end.
Neither did I.
Normally I
turn it
do,
off.
but I didn't.
Yeah.
Last one from James N. Simpson. How can you go wrong with a slasher Christmas tale? Well, get a copy of Red Christmas and you'll find out. Basically, a constantly arguing, putting each other down family are getting together in an elderly woman's Australian countryside house for Christmas. A cloak-wearing, face-hiding visitor named Cleus knocks on the door. It's clear he's not all mentally there. Even though her adult kids give the visitor a rude reception, the mother is initially sympathetic and kind to him. Perhaps because she has a Down syndrome son and likely has been ruinous and blah, blah, blah. Okay, you know what? I'm skipping ahead of that. Cleus has a spiel he wants to tell him, even though they clearly aren't interested, but he hits a nerve when the mother... Oh, you know what? Fuck this. Blah, blah, blah. We're going to take it, blah, blah, blah.
You're really butchering this
review. I'm skipping a lot of this. Cleus was, for me, just wasn't an interesting villain. The film that has a very low budget look to it uses a very plastic whole head covering mask for him when we actually get to see the cloak hood removed. Budget horror, especially slash films, can be right if they're lots of fun, especially with kills, but this one wasn't. It was unrealistic axe shopping of the sort. Blah, blah, spoilers blow a bit too often. Mother calls him a son of a bitch repeatedly at once. You know what? Fuck you, James Simpson. I don't know why. I apologize, movies. I don't know why I wrote that one down.
It was a really long one. You started it and you're just like, blah, blah, blah. Hold on, skipping this. Wait, let's just say, that sucks. All right, I'm done.
Fuck that one. I'm sorry about that.
That was pretty bad.
That was awful. I'm going to go flog myself like the priest in the beginning.
There you go. Yeah.
For
shame.
For repentance on reading that one. Anyway, let's wrap this up this week. Aaron, what are your final thoughts on Red Christmas?
So bad it's scary.
Really?
I did not have fun with this movie. I liked the horror Christmas movie, but it just was so out of place. One, being in Australia, two, like it started off a little Christmassy, but then once the action started, it was just like a killer running around the house trying to kill people. All the Christmas stuff was kind of lost. They didn't even use much Christmas music, and that's like public domain. That's like Christmas horror 101, as you use like use the creepy shit.
Yeah.
Like ringing of the bells or whatever. You can do a lot of stuff, and it just seems like they missed the mark. And I agree. I think it had like this weird, shitty pro-life kind of message wrapped up in it, which is ironic considering if for pro-life you're killing the shit out of all these people. It almost like glorified this bomber. I don't know, this movie just kind of had like we already talked about it before, but the plans, everyone was I didn't like anyone. They all had ADD, they were perfectly safe, and then throw themselves into danger again. It is supposed to be Christmas again. Give me the Christmas. Give me the Christmas horror. It started off okay, and then it all just... So bad it's scary.
So bad it's scary for Aaron. All right.
Yeah, I just wasn't feeling it.
Now, I had a tough decision on this week. I watched it a few times. For one, I'll say, one thing that kind of was leading me towards so bad it's good was the kills. I really enjoyed a lot of the kills in the movie. They were done well, I thought. There was some, production value in those kills. I'm like, all right, this is, decent. Some kills that look good. Some I hadn't seen before.
I will agree with that.
The video quality was fine. It didn't look bad.
Sound wasn't bad.
No. So, technically, it was fine. But after recording this episode and thinking more about it and the things that you said, I'm leaning more towards so bad it's scary.
So it sounds like you're on the fence here.
Yeah, but like I said, like these, I said in my notes, I thought the same thing, and you vocalized it much better than I did. But yeah, these people just constantly go against everything they say they're gonna do, and this whole movie is just Dee Wallace running away from her family, outside, inside, running here, go there, do this. It's just chaos.
Dude, she must have burned off some calories.
Yeah,
man.
it's just a chaotic film. There's so much of the lines, like I said earlier in the episode, are so repeated. Like, no, don't go out there, stay here. No, same thing over and over and over again. The characters, again, I didn't really care for any of them. The only ones I really liked were like Hope, and she died, was the first one to die. Jerry was okay, but yeah, the backstories we either didn't get enough of it to make us care about his characters, so in which case, don't give us any at all and just kill them off. It doesn't. But the one thing this movie does do, and again, maybe this is part of the pro-life, propaganda or theory behind this movie, is I was actually, even though he was killing people, I was very sympathetic towards Cletus.
Yeah.
I felt bad for the guy. Like, he's just like, Mom, love me. I just want to be accepted by my family. That's all the guy wants. And like, fuck you, kid. Like, fuck you. Get out of here. Even though I tried to kill you, I'm not going to apologize for my mistake or just even. He's not like. I don't know. Like, I felt bad. He's like, just tell me you love me. I just want to be loved. Please, Mom, don't kill me. I was like, what?
Yeah, but he came to their house on Christmas. They're being nice. They brought him in, and then he's reading this horrible, like, abortion, like, thing. He did it really bad. So I get why they threw him out.
But he read it very nice. He's like, I mean no offense. He's trying to tell his story. He even says, you didn't know. Like, this was 20 years ago, you don't know, and I'm your blah, blah, blah. He's trying, like, his best way to... come on, try to break that news. How else are you going to break that news to somebody? That is not something you easily do.
Agreed. Okay, but then you know what? You failed. You try again. You don't go and fucking kill everyone.
Well, he is retarded, but come on. Come on. Give the guy a break. He is retarded. He tried nicely the first time.
Instead of, like, murdering the shit
He was raised by a religious zealot bomber priest who killed people. That's what he knows. I don't know. I just felt bad because he was sympathetic. He just wanted to be accepted and loved by his family, and he really had no reason to shun him off in the first place, other than they were just being assholes. Like, get the fuck out of here. On Christmas.
Ugh.
I don't know. I'm not saying that's making me towards so bad it's good, but I will probably say you can't skip this. I'll say So Bad It's Scary. It has its moments of entertainment, and the kills are good. I will say that. But
I felt like it started pretty strong. I felt like it started off all right, and then it just.
But I get sick real fast of Ginny and Susie constantly fighting. That gets old real quick. It just there's a lot, and again the lack of just any logic in this. It's full of just nonsense that goes on with people running around. I'm dragging this out. So, we both agree. So Bad It's Scary. Pass it. It's not the worst we've seen, but you can skip it. It's not worth watching unless you just want to fast forward through and watch the kills. That's be about it because there's no nudity. Except for Scott's ass. Nobody wants to see that. So, yeah, I guess Peter wanted to see it. All right.
It's not a badass. I don't know.
All right, guys. That's going to wrap us up this week. Wrap us up. Holidays.
You didn't like my Outback pun.
Yeah, Aaron's not going to like me.
Although I do like it. Okay.
We'll be back next week with another Christmas horror movie to continue on with our Christmas horror movie bonanza of the season. All right, Moon Goons. In the meantime, watch more horror movies and remember to always keep it tight.